What's going on, YouTube? Thanks again for joining in. If you live in the state of Oklahoma, you really need to listen to this message, okay? As of December 2024, there were approximately 53,800 federal employees in Oklahoma. These agencies include U.S. Air Force and Army Installation, VA Hospital, the FAA Training Facility, the Bureau of Prisons, and the National Parks. Why am I talking about this? Because your Senator Markwayne Mullin got on God's Green Earth television this morning, and you have to hear this.
To the people in Oklahoma who've lost their jobs, who say they are hurting, they don't know how they're going to pay their mortgage, they don't know how they're going to make ends meet. Talk to those people. What's your message to them? They say enough of these cuts.
Well, I would tell you that the majority of the American people want to make sure that their taxpayers are being used correctly. I don't want anybody to lose their job. That's the last thing we want. But at the same time, anytime you're trying to secure this country, which a national security risk we have right now is our national debt, we have to make changes, and we have to make it quickly. Unfortunately, when we have bureaucrats and politicians that have wastefully spent the American taxpayer dollars, and we don't have to look any further than USAID to see the wasteful billions of dollars that were spent, cuts had to take place, and every business owner understands this. Every business owner understands that you have to get your house in order before you can advance. That's exactly what DOGE is doing. Think about this. Every successful business owner.
All right, that was Markwayne Mullin speaking directly on his love affair that he has, trying to defend Trump and the DOGE cuts. And the reason he's on television this morning is because literally every Republican is getting eviscerated when they go home to speak with their constituents. A lot of times these people forget that they still work for the people. We employ them. Now, I think it's kind of it's kind of jacked up that he can sit down and say, oh, well, these are cuts, tough cuts has to be made. Tell that to somebody who has to put food on the table. Tell it to someone who has to pay for daycare. Tell it to someone who's about to lose their house or to lose their car. Tell that to someone, because guess what, Markwayne Mullin? We know that you're receiving money from your family, but also you're still getting a paycheck. Your job is not cut. Why don't you go to the soup kitchen? Why don't you go to John 3:16? Why don't you go and not volunteer just to do your face? Why don't you actually go and get some of their food? Huh? So it's kind of ingenuous to sit down and to speak to people in reference to that they are losing this and saying, oh, tough cuts has to be made. Now, unfortunately, I'm going to go out and say this. Oklahoma is a very red state. You voted for this man. You voted for Donald Trump. You voted for him. That's right. You voted for him. So primarily, I'm not going to say all 53,800 employees voted for him. That I don't know. But what I can say is that this is a very red conservative state. And the majority of the people have voted for these things. And I bet you didn't think that it was going to happen to you. Why did you guys vote for these people? Why did you guys do that? Did you think that it wasn't going to happen to you because you felt as if, hey, you know, I'm good because it's going to happen to the black and brown people? We're okay. Now you're sitting here losing your jobs, and now you have your representative that's sitting here saying to national media, oh, it's okay. Tough cuts has to be made. Okay. I get it. When your national parks are shut down, what are you going to do? What's next? Shutting down the Army bases and Tinker? What's next? Shutting down the VA center so that the veterans will not have health care? Is that what's next? Because at some point, the people are going to have to say, not on my watch. And I employ people, pick up the phone, call Markwayne Mullin. He's your senator. Call him. He's the one who took over Jim Inhofe, the late Jim Inhofe seat. Call him. Call James Lankford. Those are your two senators that represent the state of Oklahoma. Call them. Let them know how you feel. Send them a letter. At this point, the damage is done, and it's going to be more damaging. So the question is, are you going to sit on the sidelines and allow this to happen, allow these bureaucrats and these oligarchs just to sit here and to make the decisions for your lives, or are you going to fight back and say that if you do not stop this, we're voting you out? Because the reason they're doing this is because they know you're not going to do a damn thing for them. You're going to keep voting for them. He's going to come in and hold your babies, or they're going to come and be like, look what we found. It's all semantics at this point. What are you going to do about it?